My business, organization, brand, whatever you want to call it, is Melanin Mamas. I have a vision for Melanin Mamas to be a center where young Black women can come to and learn about natural birth, wellness, and everything that involves Black girl magic. Also, I'm a creator. I created a board game called the Dollar Trap, and I'm still working to get my game out, but it's mine. And I'm hoping that I can get it into schools and into libraries and community cultural centers to teach young people about the criminal justice system in a way that is fun and engaging for the entire family. Also, have been working on some projects with my children. Me and my daughter have a clothing line under my Melanin Mamas brand, and she is the sole artist of our brand, and I am the designer of the clothing. And I also have a production company that I'm working on with my other daughter, who is a dope artist, and we're still putting that together, so look for that. Our family is the Black Battalion Regime, 24 Karat Black. So we have so many things that we are ready to put out into this world, and I hope that you love it all, and it enlightens you spiritually and elevates the Black community. Man, when I think about inspiration and what inspires me, I have to really think about my ancestors, mainly my Big Mama. My Big Mama was the first activist that I've ever witnessed. Didn't really even know what it was called, but now I'm real clear on what she did for our community. She fed all the children. She was a person who really loved the community. She would make sure people had clothing. She had a big family, but she still had room to love others. So she was the first person that really taught me about loving beyond the lines of color. Because all of the children that she fed were from different races. And being from a really country town called Whitesburg, Georgia, you can kind of, imagine the racism that she endured, and people still endure there in that small town. But my Big Mama was someone who really looked after the community and mostly the young children. And I watched her throughout the years, always giving of service, and it just made me feel completely connected to being a person of service. So she inspires me, and continuously just thinking of all of the challenges that she was able to overcome gives me the energy to really be able to go through those heavy days when I have to fight for folks in the community. And maybe some folks, maybe they don't appreciate all the work that I put in and the time and energy that I sacrifice. But I always remember that, my Big Mama didn't always get a thank you or an appreciation, but she always stayed ready and willing to help others. So I get my inspiration from her. I've been here for 47 years, so I have a lot of wisdom. I've made a lot of mistakes, but if I could tell you young women out there any real solid advice, for me it is, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes. You're gonna have some business failures, but how you deal with those things that bring trauma to your life is how you survive, and how you manifest high frequency and vibrancy to your life. Everyone's got a struggle story. Sometimes it may feel like yours is way more severe than everyone else. But in every struggle story, there's survival. And through survival, you can manifest greatness. Never give up on yourself, young girl. Always love yourself and always know that greatness really resides within you. And you just really have to believe that you can manifest all of your dreams. And through service and passion, you will align yourself with purpose. It's inevitable. So forgiving yourself is important. Taking accountability for things that you do is important. And always being open to change, because change brings evolution. So I hope that you understand that spirituality that I'm giving you. And if you don't get it now, it'll come to you. Because you're close to the universe and you're close to the Creator, and you just gotta tap into that and really truly continue to grow and find who you are supposed to be on this planet. Thank you, Lock Shots and Mind Grind Entertainment, for this great opportunity to be a part of Women's History Month. I totally enjoyed it, and I look forward to doing more things with you all. Y'all have a great rest of March, rest of 2021, and may God continue to bless you and your family.
Peace and love, everybody. I'm Nate Turner, CEO of Mind Grind Entertainment, also co-founder and director of Nathan Ross Incorporated. Just want to give a special shout out to all of the beautiful black women, past, present, and future. Obviously, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for black women. I just want to thank you all for your inspiration, for your motivation, and also the dedication and sacrifice that you've made. I just feel so inspired, so blessed to just be a product of black women, to have been led by black women, and to just be a part of black culture in general. I want to encourage you to believe in yourselves, to always know that you can do anything that you put your mind to, and just know that you are the salt of the earth, that you are just the womb of the universe. And I love you and appreciate you sincerely. Peace and love.
Peace, family. This is Brittany Frizzell of Unlearn to Relearn LLC, blog and publishing company dedicated to Black creatives and new entrepreneurs. I am also an intergenerational organizer for Power U Center for Social Change, where we are working to ensure that students' voices are heard and that their needs are met within the entire school system. We're beginning with mental health resources down in District 9 to ensure that the students in this area who are experiencing an increase in gun violence and COVID deaths are receiving the resources and services that they need. If you have any concern or want to get involved, please email me at brittanyf@poweru.org. I also have 2 books, Sometimes I Cry, a book of poetry, and to all my students, a children's book of poetry. And you can follow and stay up to date with us at unlearntorelearn.us on Instagram, or subscribe at unlearntorelearn.us. Thank you.
I want to thank my brother M.Y. Osahar for giving me the opportunity to talk about the black women that have inspired me, and I need to look no further than my own family. I want to recognize and honor the spirit and legacy of my mother, Larcenia Bullard. In raising me, one of the things she instilled in me was that notion of the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And so I've chosen to operate my life with a sense of kindness, and that being my purpose. And so I want to thank her for instilling that in me. But I also want to shout out my baby sister, who has really taken on the mantle that my mother laid out for not only me, but also for her. and is also a phenomenal woman herself. So I want to give a big shout out to those two inspiring ladies right in my own family. My mother, Senator Larcenia Bullard, and my sister, Edwina Sims.
Hey y'all, my name is Crystal Safrani from K Safrani Beauty, and I'm just here to say Happy International Women's Month to all the women that's out here doing it. I'm proud of you, and you guys are all inspiring to me, just like all the other girls that's watching. And I want to thank my friend Jazz so much for inviting me here to speak. Thank you so much to Lock Sharks Media for inviting me as well. I'm just gonna talk about my public, get out y'all way. So I guess you could say that my company started years ago. I own a beauty company, and I'm a hairstylist as well as I dabble a little bit in finance as well. I started doing hair when I was 12 years old, and literally it just came from me wanting to get my hair done and my mama telling me no, and I was like, you know what, this hair's gonna get done anyway. And I started playing around on YouTube, watching the pioneers, Adriana, Thomas, Fabulosity, It's Me, Tierra Monet, like just all the OGs, and they taught me how to do hair. Going through school, all my friends knew that I did my own hair. My hair was always cute, so eventually everybody started asking me, hey, can you do my hair? Hey, can you do my hair? And literally that was my first job. All throughout high school, I would do hair for graduation, prom, back to school, homecoming, just any little events. Everybody knew, call Crystal, she gonna get your hair right. So as time kept going, I ended up graduating from high school with some college credit from dual enrollment, and I went right into school. And at that time, I was working with the school district and still doing hair here and there on the side. And then I decided that I wanted to elevate my life. I wanted to go to a new level. I wanted to be in a job where I could learn something. And what I wanted to really learn about was finances. So I had a mission that I knew I was going to work in the bank. I knew I was going to work in banking. And lo and behold, at I believe I was just turned 20 years old when I got my banking job. So I was working in banking, and I'm not gonna lie, I loved being around money. I loved meeting different entrepreneurs, and I loved seeing that there's more than just waking up every day and going to work. This time, Women's Month last year, we were working 1 week on and 1 week off, and I went ahead and I said, you know what, I'm gonna start building this website. So I started building this e-commerce website where I start selling products, hair oils, satin bonnets, because everybody know, ain't nobody got time for a bonnet that slide off your head. My bonnets don't slide off your head at nighttime. Now at 12, when I learned how to do hair and I was learning how to take care of my own natural hair because I've never had a relaxer, I started, mixing up products and trying to see like what works with my hair and what doesn't. And what I found was that the natural products worked much better. So I made my own butters, I made my own oils, I was just making things. And when I created my online website last year in March, I said, you know what, this is a product that I know works. I know it solves a lot of my hair issues. Let me put it up on this website. So all through the pandemic, I'm here and I'm working on my products and getting serious in my business. And in June, I decided, you know what, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and bet on myself and believe in myself and dive fully into being an entrepreneur. In June of 2020, I left my corporate job and I became a full-time entrepreneur, and I went into a salon and I began working for myself. All through this time, I had built my website to a point where I was finally ready to release it to the world. And on my birthday last year, September 3rd, a national holiday, I released my website. And to see where things have come before and now, it's just, it amazes me every time I think about it. Anytime that I get discouraged and I think like, oh my gosh, being an entrepreneur is so much, doing all this is so hard. And I come from a Caribbean background, so y'all already know you either be a doctor or a lawyer or that's it. And just to be doing something that is new and you just don't really know about, it made me scared. But honestly, and everybody knows, when you go to these some of these girl boss events and all this stuff, the main thing you're gonna hear is, oh my gosh, believe in yourself and you can do it. Believe in yourself and you can do anything. And I'm over here like, listen, I want to hear about how you got your business loan. Don't tell me to believe in myself. But it's funny because while all the other stuff is important, that really was the major key that I had to learn. And that would be my advice to anybody that's trying to jump into, whether it be entrepreneurship or moving on to a new chapter in life, getting a different job, elevating in the job that you're in, becoming a mother, whatever it is, believe in yourself. Like, you have that inside of you already. God put these things inside of you for a reason, and all you have to do literally is take the first step. And once you take the first step, you take the next step. Because had I not started my business, I never would have realized that my entire life basically was the blueprint to take me to where I am now, which is launching my own beauty line and my own product line, which is separate from me as a hairstylist, which is going to be called Juicy Care, an all natural, vegan, cruelty-free, handcrafted hair solution. And our whole thing is we're not trying to tell you to have relaxed hair, natural hair, curly hair, straight hair. It's for all the people that want to have juicy, healthy hair. You can follow my entrepreneurship journey on my Instagram, K-Tafani Beauty, and you can also follow me and see my journey on YouTube at K-Tafani, and all those links will be, I'm sure, somewhere here on the screen. And signing off, I just want to say, if there's anything that you want to do, you're thinking about doing, you want to start, you want to learn about, you want to move forward with, do it. Because you never know what impact you're going to make on people. I wanted to work in banking really bad. I went into banking and I learned so much. I met so many people that were able to drop gems into my life that inspired me and taught me. Now on my entrepreneurship journey, these things help me so much. And being a stylist, I meet and connect with so many different people. Some of them being entrepreneurs, some of them just being people with employment that don't have this type of information, and I'm able to share with them how to build credit, how to budget, how to just go about starting a business the legitimate way. And I'm so grateful for all those things. So if you're in like an in-between and you don't really know what's happening, baby, just keep moving. You're doing amazing. Okay. Thank y'all.
So we can go ahead and get started, and I wanted to thank you for joining us today. Queen Valencia Linder, welcome to Lock Shots. We wanted to do something special this month in honor of our Black women, because Black Women History Month. If anybody else give you a different name, then don't listen to them because they can't be trusted. So Lock Shots wanted to do something special before we close this month out, because we love our Obsidian culture, so we wanted to uplift the best part of our culture, which is our Black women. And because you are well known inside of our lives at Lock Shots and inside of the community that you serve and the communities that want you to come help serve them, I know people be reaching out to you. We wanted to make sure that we had you on today, and we just wanted to ask you a few questions. First, we wanted to, I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce yourself and give us your whole long laundry list of accomplishments. What do you want to say about yourself?
Ain't no long laundry list. Cut it out. I am Valencia Linder, or B, I use she, her pronouns, and I have many titles. So one, I'm a Miamian. I was bred in Miami. I'm from Liberty City, and I go by just one good title outside of queen or she or her. I am an organizer. Some folks try to label me other things, but I just think I'm an organizer. I'm an organizer that likes to help lots of people. I am the co-founder and the co-director of the Smile Trust, which is a anti-poverty, food justice, food insecurity organization that serves under-resourced populations in the American South, in the global South. We do disaster relief work, rent prevention work, and we also do outreach and services to unsheltered populations here in South Florida and also in Atlanta. And our disaster relief work reaches probably all the way to the Midwest and in certain global South nations, specifically Bahamas, Haiti, and we did some work in Dominica and Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria. And I also do some other stuff. I do a tad bit of advocacy work legislatively with the Dignity Florida Coalition. Shout out to Dignity Florida. Everything great with these amazing formerly incarcerated women and girls across the state of Florida. I mean, I wouldn't have a resume if it wasn't for other Black women who trusted my leadership, and also I trust their leadership. Shout out to Trey and Nubian and all the amazing folks that, you know, put down to make sure that Black women that are incarcerated and Black girls that are incarcerated are to the center of the conversation of criminal justice reform. Also, I am the national organizing lead for the Red, Black, and Green New Deal at the Movement for Black Lives. I proudly build resiliency plans and a radical Black climate agenda for Black folks here across these United States, but also we're planning on going global. And I wouldn't say lastly, but I am one of the co-founders of the Black Collective, which is an amazing political home for the Black diaspora community here across the state of Florida. Our goal is to build a Black political agenda for us to have Black legislative strategy and us to focus on civic engagement and making sure that our communities are to the center of conversation as it relates to elections and changing legislation in this world that we live in today. And thank you so much for having me.
Well, it's definitely our pleasure to have you once again. I told everybody that you was going to have this long laundry list of accomplishments. Like you just, and I'm glad that you do, because you know, it inspires other people to let them know that you always can do something, because some people out here doing everything. So like, yeah. So I wanted to ask you a question about if you could share with us some of your inspirations, because you gave us a lot of the work that you do, and you know, it's not easy to do work like that without some type of fuel in your system, some type of inspiration, something that you're reaching out to. So I wanted you to share with us, you know, what that inspiration for you is and what that looks like. Tell us what the fuel in your system looks like.
Yeah, so it's a few things. I think this work had engaged me several times as a child. And I think about Michelle McBride. She's no longer with us. She transitioned while I was still in college. But she lived in my neighborhood. She had came back from grad school. And although in the 90s, I ain't gonna tell my age, the early 90s, it was a lot of people in Liberty City that were were from different professions. So I had like a pastor that lived on my block, and a guy that owned a barbershop, and a person who owned like a bike shop. And then Michelle came home from college with a law degree. And everybody was talking about it like, oh my goodness, Michelle. And I was really close to her niece, which I still am to this day, shout out to Nikki. And Michelle just exposed me to all of these Black women that were lawyers. I went to the Black Lawyers Association picnic as a child, and I was just blown that it was so many Black people, but specifically Black women that come from communities like mine, that was out here in the world doing great things. But more importantly, I think growing up here in Liberty City and all of the different things that I went through as a child, it just was like, I need to fix this. I need to fix this, and I need to fix that, you know? And honestly, my motivation is to become the Michelle McBride to the next generation, to show a lot of people in my community that you can be from these communities. You can strive, you can do things, you can work hard, you can still live here, right? I still live in Liberty City to this day. And you could be of assistance to other people in all different facets of your life. So I am super excited at the fact that I grab my inspiration from there, not just from the people who came before me, but also from the folks that I know are going to come behind me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And everybody hopes to be a Michelle. And you already, you know, you're already that Michelle, right? I'm pretty sure you already have some like little girls. It doesn't even have, and I know you mentioned like you as when you were younger, you know, Michelle came into the neighborhood with a law degree, but you know, to be quite honest, you don't have to be younger to look up to somebody, because you have a lot of older people that look up to you as well, and it crosses generational boundaries when you're doing the right things. So I know that you are a guiding light to all generations, you know, the little girls and the older women that, you know, they wish they could have done these different things, didn't know they could do it until they saw you doing it. Maybe some of them are actually stepping into those particular walks of life now because they see what you have been able to accomplish. So what are some of the things, what are you most passionate about in your work?
I think my most passionate work is building resiliency plans. So I also do climate and environmental justice advocacy work globally. And honestly, like, the world is changing. Climate change is real. It's a real thing. I know I don't have to make you a believer. Especially us here in Miami, we feel the impact of it literally every day. Hotter summers. We don't have much of a winter. And you know, back in the day in Hawaii, we used to have like a cold few days or something.
Yeah, we had like 4 days.
Yeah, we barely getting that. Hurricanes are getting worse, and you know, sunny-day flooding and all these things. And I'm just like, Black folks are going to be the last to be responded to. And I'm like, what does a community look like in this new world that we're building? And I believe that's my life's work. Like, I want to build resiliency plans for Black nations and Black communities. And I started here in Miami with the Community Emergency Operations Center. You've actually, you know, thrown down with us several times, holding us down in South Dade. And it's super important because, you know, if we don't build our own plans and have our own resources, our people will get nothing. And I just want to make sure I'm at least a part of the group of folks who are building resiliency plans for our people that's realistic and digestible for our folks. And although I do a plethora of things, right? But the resiliency work requires me to do all of those things, right? I have to know how to advocate. I have to know how to remove leadership out of office if they're not doing things right for our community. I have to know how to feed people. I have to know how to connect with many folks from different communities, regardless of their background, religion, gender. And I believe like that's what my passion is. Like, that's what I feel is that's needed the most, and that's where I want to show up.
Oh, beautiful! Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Resiliency work. We definitely need that, and that's a great way to make sure that we're in the right position when stuff hits the fan. Because you're absolutely right. We've seen we got historical documentation of like what happens when something goes wrong and who's the last one to get what and who's the first to get what, you know. So resiliency definitely make sure that we're in the right position to take care of ourselves when those things happen. And that's a very, very broad field. You are tackling a huge dragon with that one. So I'm glad you took the lead on that, or, you know, assisting with that inside the area. And we're always willing to lend a hand. Hopefully we can get something even further down south, down here, you know, down here close to
south side.
the south side of the world.
South of the wall.
Yeah. But that's beautiful, and we thank you so much for, you know, your work, especially when it comes to climate. And because a lot of us aren't in that field. It's very, very important, especially when we want to talk about like, you know, our food, our health, and things like that. A lot of this stuff plays a big part in this. That is definitely awesome. I'm just gonna ask you like 2 more questions, and I'm gonna let you get on with your busy day, or your day of peace. I'm gonna say your day of peace, your day of rest. Day of rest. So a light one. So what is your favorite place? And I ask this more so in the mindset of I know that the work that you do is heavy. Because you have to kind of take on the world, and you also have to take on your personal life as well. And sometimes those things clash, and I get it because I go through the same thing. I don't do nearly as much as you do. So what's your favorite place to, come back to recenter? Like where do you go? It could be physically or mentally, but we'll go with physical.
A physical place. Well, Miami is home. And I like Miami. I like the look of it, the smell of it, the taste of it, the whole thing. And I can't imagine living in no other part of the world, which I know some people are like, oh, other places are nice. And I'm not knocking that, but like, I just know how to move, shape, and maneuver this place. Probably like no other. So after like moving through the world or being in other places, coming back home, to recharge, it's a good place. But when I'm home, a good place to go, it's the beach. I love the beach. Before quarantine, I had not been going to the beach like I should. And during quarantine, I go to the beach at nighttime, or like it's a part of my routine of life now. And I probably go to the beach more now than I ever did before. And it's not always just to swim. Like sometimes it's just going to the sand and sitting there, breathing in the salt water, because that's good for your lungs. And dipping your body into the salt water is really good. And also swimming is super healthy. Honey, it works every muscle in your body. A lot of people don't know that. And I used to be a lifeguard when I was 14. I started being a lifeguard. So swimming is something I always enjoyed. But the beach is my favorite place to be. Being by the water is my favorite place to be. It just does a thing for my life, and then it's also healthy for me at the same time. So, yeah.
Ooh, do you have I know it's like a terrible question to some places that they might find disrespectful. What's your favorite beach? We got a lot of beaches down here in Florida. So, what's your favorite stretch of beach in the area?
Definitely South Beach, because Miami is gonna go down there.
Right.
I like North Beach. I like North Beach, the beach straight down 79th Street Causeway. When you get down to the water over there on Collins, that's my favorite part of the beach. And then if I had to name a strong second, it would be Fort Lauderdale Beach. Fort Lauderdale Beach is beautiful. It stays clean. I like the fact that they don't have buildings sitting right on the sand in Fort Lauderdale, so it gives like the landscape of it like this natural, beautiful look. So those two beaches are my fave. Yeah.
Absolutely. I like the northern portions of the beach because they don't have those businesses and everything sitting there. So it's like more family oriented, especially with the piers and the boardwalks and stuff like that. Kids riding their little bicycles. Like it's beautiful.
Right. It's more accessible for people.
I love that. Yeah. So before we let you go, how can people help you in the work that you're doing? How can people sign up, help donate, etc.? And also, how do people inquire about your services and fees and things of that nature? Because you do a lot of good work, so we want to make sure that everybody knows not only that you do it, but how to access you and your work and how to support it when you're doing it. Because sometimes it can feel like you're on an island. Sometimes we want to make sure that doesn't happen. So how can we help you?
So my website, the Smile Trust website, is being updated right now so that people can sign up or ask for services. So that's coming down the pike soon. That's mthsmile.com. And you should be able to find out about all of our services and everything here very soon. On social media, we are the Smile Trust on every platform. It's the Smile Trust literally on every platform: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And I don't know if we got no TikTok or whatever, but we may have one because I'll be handling that stuff. And then for me personally, I am Valencia Gunder on all platforms. Yes, I use my government name because, everybody know it anyway. So it's Valencia Gunder on all platforms. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I don't have any other social media platforms. I may still have my MySpace. I just aged myself. So
Your Black
yeah,
Planet? You still got your Black Planet?
I don't think I still have my Black Planet. But that used to be the things to be coating and everything for those night skins. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
On the
No.
dial up?
I don't know nothing about that.
Whatever. Me and you the same age, yo. Me and you the same age. So yeah, like that's how you can reach me. Reach out to the organization. We do have 2 mutual aid funds up on our site. Well, they will be rebranded and pushed out. And y'all should be looking forward to our app that's dropping soon. Exclusive. It's my first time saying this publicly. We have an app that we're that these amazing coders who they won a pitch competition, and they pitched the app to assist our organization, and they actually won. So they're finishing it up soon. So hopefully we'll be in beta testing in the next few months, and then we'll be going public. So I'm excited about that, and that app will actually help with individuals who need our services, where they can just use the app to request things from us, and then we could streamline the process. So yeah.
Big time. That's what I'm talking about. It's a done deal once you get that and you're in the app market. I love that. Ooh.
We trying.
Ain't no trying, you're doing. You are doing. Congratulations. I love it.
Thank you.
Once again, Miss Queen Valencia Gunda. Always a pleasure. And I want to thank you so much for spending some of your time with us today on your day of peace. Hopefully we have a lot more conversations going forward. Again, this is something we wanted to do to uplift our Black women because it's Black Women History Month, and we are currently making history with our Black women. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. So again, I want to thank you from Lock Shots, from the Lock Shot staff, because I'm building our staff. You see, we got Jazz over there doing our thing and stuff like that. That's also Black history.
Absolutely.
But we are definitely loving the city and culture. And again, I want to thank you again. And have a beautiful day.
You too. Thank you again for having me.
Thank you.